All right.
Good. All right, we back, man. We had a brief interruption. The battery died. But the topic that we're going into is how the kingdom of heaven is already prepared. It's just the Most High got to get remove Esau out of the way. And once Esau is gone and their power is taken from off the earth, we'll be free to thrive the way a river will be free to flow if you remove the dam, something blocking it out of the way. All right, the damn thing out of the way. Go ahead, brother.
This is back in Matthew chapter 16. I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Verse 18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
Right, so basically saying wickedness shall not prevail against thee. Any scoffers, and sin shall not prevail against thee. But he said what? Upon this rock. And that's what the word Peter means. Peter means rock, right? Or foundation. And that's upon Peter, he was the head of the church. And that's who he established, the Most High established that foundation of faith and salvation for these times. All right? He set it upon Peter. Keep going, brother.
Verse 19, it says, And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So the Lord said he's going to give unto Peter and those that fall after the same spirit as Peter. We're going to get the keys to what? The kingdom of heaven. All right. Now let's see what the word keys means. Go ahead, brother.
All right, I got the definition of keys in Matthew 16 and 19. It says, a key as a shutting a lock, literally or figuratively.
Right. So being able to bind something on earth, condemning it as wicked, or bringing it to life as righteous. All right, that's power, man, and that the Lord blessed us with that type of power by being able to speak this truth. And this truth is a double-edged sword. It can cut, it can tear down, it can heal. Go ahead, brother.
It says, a key, since the keeper of the keys has the power to open and to shut.
Right. So the Lord is going to make us the police officers, being able to judge between good and evil. And that's set up for us today. So he gave us power to have keys to the kingdom, the understanding, the instruction. Go ahead, brother.
Metaphor in the New Testament to denote power and authority of various kinds.
Right. So being able to teach and build up the hopeful elect and to condemn certain wicked people. He gave us that power. Even today, we condemn them, say it's wicked. That's wickedness. That's all. Or bind you up, put a curse on you. Or to be able to free somebody from their bonds, being subject to bondage, we free them through His Word, all right, through the Scriptures. To be able to break the chains from them. And the Lord gave us that power. That's mighty power, like Hercules. Well, like Samson. You gotta be careful nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Precept.
Good, brother.
This is John chapter 1, verse 12. It says, But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Yahweh, even to them that believe on his name.
There you go. So that's the church that was built, the tabernacle of David that's being built upon the foundation of David or Peter, right? That's being built upon Peter. He said, what? Those that follow after Peter and do this. Go ahead, brother, one more time.
All right, it says, John 1 and 12, it says, But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Yahweh, even to them that believe on his name.
Right, so he gave us the power, the keys. That's the power. All right, so he gave us the keys to be able to become his sons again, man.
I want to read a little bit more because when he said when the bar read, it said Peter, flesh and blood didn't reveal this to you, but the Spirit of Yahweh. All right, it says, which were not born of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of Yahweh.
Right, they go hand in hand. That's the subscription. Right? That's beautiful, man. Go ahead, brother. That's beautiful precepts, man.
All right, this is the book of Luke, St. Luke, chapter 12, verse 31. It says, "But rather seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh, and all these things shall be added unto you."
Right, so the Lord telling us to seek who? Seek the kingdom of Yahweh. And how you seek the kingdom, that means what? Seeking righteousness. Right? And seeking Yahweh. Seeking his face, the tree of life, wisdom, huh?
Kiss the son lest he be angry.
Yep. Kiss the son lest he be angry and you perish from the way.
Great precept,
That's,
interjection.
yep, that means to honor him, honor Yahweh, honor the truth. Or you'll perish. Go ahead, brother.
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Right, man. So, you want to speak on anything?
That was it.
All right, so he's saying blessed. And the word blessed goes back to being what? Favored or chosen. You know? And the ones that are blessed are, can you read that again?
All right, Shalaki. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. It says, "Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled."
Right, so the ones that seek righteousness, that's what we're going to attain to, because that's what's coming to this earth. Righteousness.
Got a quick precept.
Right, brother. You have to speak on it.
And
Too.
this Psalms chapter 2, verse 12. So like verse 11. "Serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua with fear and rejoicing, rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him." So it's blessed that all they that put their trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, that seek the truth, that seek the wisdom, and that righteousness, man, that seek for the answers of what's going on today, man, of why they in the position that they in, man. And by you seeking that, man, he'll give you that understanding. He'll give you that wisdom. He'll allow you to see the teachers, man.
Right.
I got precept. All right, this is Sirach 24, verse 19. It says, "Come unto me, all ye that desires of me, and fill yourself with my fruit. For my memorial is sweeter than honey, and mine inheritance than the honeycomb. They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty. He that obeyeth me shall never be confounded, and they that work by me shall not do amiss." So basically, you eating the fruit, which is just wisdom and knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Like he told the woman by the well, "Those that drink of my water shall thirst no more." All right. So basically, not having a carnal mind, just like the brother read earlier. Blessed are you, Peter, because flesh and blood did not tell you this. We're not the ones of a carnal. We're not the natural man. We're the spiritual man. All right. Because the natural man can only discern natural things that's of the flesh. But the spiritual man can understand all things from Yahweh Shem Yahushai that were given unto him. Or what is that's why it says we shall have the mind of Yahweh Shai.
Right. Only if he's blessed. You got to be blessed. You got to be, favored. Be blessed is he that readeth. Somebody get Luke 6 and 47. All right. Again, man, we're focusing on the kingdom of heaven being already prepared from the foundation of the world, the foundation of Israel. Right? Foundation of salvation.
This is Luke chapter 6, verse 47. It says, "Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings."
Right. So whosoever cometh to him, the only ones that set up to come to Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, are the ones that are called. You know, how can they come unto him unless they call? Go ahead, brother.
"And doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like."
So yeah, just like the brothers was just reading. All right, the ones that come into this truth, that follow in the spirit, like Peter was in, the foundation. You're gonna like, and that believe in Yahweh Shai, like Peter did. You're gonna liken them unto this. Go ahead.
"He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock."
Right. So that rock is Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai set that rock upon who? Peter. Go ahead.
And when Slaki, I'm gonna start from the top again. "He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon the rock.
Right. So that's what this is all stemming back to. That foundation being laid of faith and of salvation. I hate to keep rhyming, man, bars. But that's how that foundation of faith that was set with Peter, all right, was a precursor for today. You know, that the kingdom was already prepared. You still got the heavens, the earth, you got everything that we see, man. You gotta get Esau out the way. You got concrete everywhere. As soon as we get Esau, what happens when a car doesn't ride up the street anymore on a paved road? After a while, the pavement starts to break up, and the grass goes through. Starts to erode. You know, that's why they have to keep laying pavement. That's why they have to keep riding over the road. That's right, bro. We got three.
Alright. Back in, you want me to go back to Matthew?
Yeah.
Back in Matthew chapter 16, verse 19, it says, "And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loose in heaven."
Right, man. I would say, as in heaven, we pray that it is on earth. All right. So if we bind something up on earth and we curse it, and the Most High agrees with it in the heavens, that's what it's going to be upon the earth. All right. If it's loosed in the heavens, the command comes from Yahweh. That's what they're going to be loosed upon the earth. All right. So he said, "What he rules in the kingdom of men, give it to whomsoever he will."
Can we get it?
Nah, we good. John 14:1.
I got it.
John 14:1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yahweh, believe also in me.
Right, he's saying in these times, that's why we're bringing this out. The scriptures say what? Comfort one another with these words. And let not your mind be troubled. Right? We believe in Yahweh, so we should be able to believe that his son exists, that he's going to send Yahweh Shai in these times to deliver us. And that the foundation was laid. And that he is alive. And that's why we're here. Because he's on the right hand of the Father. And the Father's administering his spirit out around the four corners of the earth through the internet. Go ahead.
Verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions.
In his Father's house are many mansions. And if you got a house, you got what? The footstools. The footstool is this earth. So that will make the house will be the vault or the heaven Shemayim. Or what you call the universe or space. So out in space, since Yahushua left, he's been preparing planets for us. Each man is going to have his own planet. He's going to have his own extraterrestrial body. And just because it say extraterrestrial doesn't mean it has to be from this earth. It could be from any planet out there. You see that? Any element out there. So it can be extraterrestrial. So those, so the Lord got planets waiting for us, right? I was talking to brothers before, just like this earth was made and had every 1,000 years before man was even on the earth, you had apples and things growing in the trees and dropping and dying and decaying, that process. That's what's happening, could be happening on these planets that the Lord made for us out there now, waiting for us, man. We got the system going, you know? All right, go ahead. But to be able to dwell on these planets, we got to have bodies to go with it.
If it were not so, I would have told you.
So the Lord said, if it wasn't so, he would have told us. He would have said, nah, there's no planets for y'all, there's this, and that. Go ahead.
I go to prepare a place for you.
So when he left in the spirit realm, he's been preparing, he's been busy, right, preparing stuff for us. But he said he wasn't going to drink the wine new with us until he shows up.
So he shows up.
So that's party time, that's chill time. He's been working since he left.
That's just like when you're younger and you're about to have company come over to the house. What does your mom make you do? Straighten up the house and everything, make it suitable for the company to come over. So that's basically what your house is doing.
Yep, getting everything ready.
Getting everything ready.
Yep. Getting their outfits, getting our outfits ready. Getting the outfits ready for the party and everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself.
Right, so That's the proof that he prepared a place for us when he returns. You see that? He said, if I go to prepare this for y'all, I'm leaving, but I gotta return so I can give it to you. Meaning our reward is with him. The kingdom of heaven is with him. So all we need is what? For the elect to be awoke, the kingdom of heaven exists. But it still has to be exalted.
Yeah.
So the kingdom of heaven is awoke. Once we are alive, once the candles are lit, the fire is lit.
Quick interjection.
Yep, yeah, go ahead.
And this Luke chapter 17, verse 21. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you.
That's right, man. What's on that one?
Luke 17 and 21. So,
Yep.
so the kingdom of heaven is within you. And pertaining the truth, being spoken and being taught for the elect purposes, mainly, all right, for the elect to be sealed. Yeah, and the kingdom is within you, man. It
Right.
starts with yourself, man. It starts off purging the old man, reforming your law, your heart and mind, and coming into that new man, that spiritual man.
That's right. He said, what? You have lively stones built up a spiritual house. So we are the kingdom of heaven. So once we're awoken, the kingdom of heaven is living. Excuse me. But then it still has to get exalted. It still has to be lifted up out of, the dunghill. And to be given bodies to be able to rule over these nations. So the kingdom of heaven can't fully thrive, though it exists. We can be in the truth and be awakened from death, but we still in bondage. Esau still ruling. They still wickedness on their earth.
No man shall save thee.
Right, man. And the kingdom of heaven is not fully the kingdom of heaven if there's wickedness on the earth. They both can't exist together.
You can't coexist.
Right. One has to be the high, one has to be the low.
That's what creates the. One has to be the high, one has to be low.
Right.
That's what creates that balance.
Yep. So that was it on that, right? Oh, you got go ahead.
Verse 3 from the top again.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also.
Right. So the Lord is going to receive us unto Himself, or He's going to reject some people. All right, to receive us or reject some. That's what He's going to do. He said that we'll be able to be with Him where He is. We can't be with Him where He is unless we lose these bodies. So He got to show up, and the kingdom of heaven is with Him. Flesh and blood should not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Right? So we can't be with Yahushua until we lose these bodies. Right? So we can have the truth all we want, but we wouldn't even be able to stand in front of Yahushua because we'd die. Or we get old and die, either one.
Yeah.
So He got to stop that process too.
Yeah,
Of the flesh of Adam, the first Adam. He got to cut that off.
the deterioration of the body.
Right.
And which
Sin,
sped
yeah.
yeah, what sped it up was sin. That's
Yep.
what I'm gonna get to. The sin was what sped it up.
Yep.
Is Isaiah 62 and 6, it says, I have set watchmen upon the walls of Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, nor day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
You got it.
All right, so that's basically what he's saying. The kingdom starts when we enter into this truth, but it's manifested by when Israel be made a praise upon this earth. So we're praising the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, doing the work, right? Praying, doing the videos, going out there on the highways and byways, healing some, condemning some. That's the kingdom right there. But it'll be fully established when Yahushua shows up, and Israel is made a praise throughout the whole earth, meaning righteousness flourishes throughout the whole earth. There's no wickedness that can dwell there. So that's the only thing. That's really the only thing we're waiting on. And that's when Esau's gonna be taken out of the way.
Right. He said, many are called, but few are chosen. He calling many right now, but ultimately, in the kingdom, when 2/3 gonna be reestablished, full resurrection. And then that's when the Lord gonna say, I finished my work. And he built the temple. To Yahweh, dedicated to Yahweh, man. That's what all about. That's what we're all about. That's why we were created. The Lord created us to be that. Just perfected stones for the Most High's use. For His tabernacle, for His house to dwell in. That's what we are, man. And once you realize that, it'll take away a lot of insecurities. You realize the importance of your whole substance of your creation. even if you die, a person died, come back, you still that. I told my child, you're gonna rule someday.
Yeah.
Period. Either now or in the future. You should look forward to that.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So, we should be able to tell ourselves the same thing,
Yeah, God.
So the kingdom of heaven is already prepared, right? Let's get 2 Peter 3:11. Isaiah 66 and 17.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11.
Yep, all the way 14.
It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
Right, so seeing then that everything that we see in this age, in this society in America is going to be burned up. All the imaginations and the things that y'all love in this society is going to be burned up. So what type of person should you be in all your actions, everything that you do in your life? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Looking forward and hasting unto the day. Looking forth and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahushua.
Right.
What?
No, you could, my bad. Looking for and hastening it. And how you hasten the day? By doing his work. The work is the only thing that can hasten the harvest. The quicker we wake each other up, the quicker we build each other up to be what? Sure. To be perfected. To be sealed, the quicker we get out of here. Alright? So it's like instead of marching around Jericho, we start running. Running laps. Yeah. Blow on the horn. Go ahead, brother.
It says, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Right, man. The elements, all the wickedness, all the pollution, everything that was created in this society is gonna melt. Like your buildings,
Can I get free?
your idols, idolatry, even the wickedness that your imagination, your thoughts gonna burn with you.
Yeah, because this. What's like?
No, you cool.
Because you think about it, if all the things you admire and worship on this earth, you see burn up, right? You physically seeing that's gonna burn those images up in your mind also. You know what I'm saying? Like what the scripture said, in the day of thy power, when people shall be willing. So these people that believe in all this Jesus bullshit, once they see the statues and crosses burning and shit, that's literally gonna singe them in their mind before they get to destruction. So he's pure. While they're being about to be destroyed, watching missiles come, man, seeing all this shit burning up, their mind is being purged.
Mind ain't being purged, mind being destroyed.
Yes.
All your dreams and hopes is crushed.
Just crushed, and that puts you at what? Ground zero.
It's just like in them movies, you see like you have a leader of a pack, and then you have that challenger come up. Not saying that Yahushua will be that challenger, but in this sense, that challenger will come up and take that personal power out of hand, and that audience right there be latched on to that new power.
All right, but check it out. In this sense, Yahushua would be the challenger. He's the champion to us, but to the ones that don't understand, he's the challenger.
Right, and what do you say? That people shall be willing in the day of that power.
Yeah.
And they see that happen. When the Lord lifts us up, and hopefully, when He give us that power, they can be willing.
I get it.
And even the women gonna be willing.
Oh, and what is that in Hosea where he said he shall take the names of the other idols out of their mouth?
Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
That's power right there.
That's power.
If you listen, a lot of thought process of these 2/3 of our people come from generation and generation of exposure to wickedness, right? In an instant, you're gonna take them names out of their mouth.
Well, I gotta say this too. That's even talking about us.
Con.
Remember, he said we were without Yahushua in the world,
Yeah.
being Gentiles too.
Con.
A lot of us was doing idol worship.
Yeah.
We're the proof that He's going to do that for our fellow brothers and sisters too.
Con.
Him doing that for us, that's like, yeah, He can do it for them too.
Yeah. It's all about timing.
It's all about timing.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Where we at?
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13.
13. Right?
In 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13, it says, nevertheless, we, according to His promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Right. So the heavens and the earth already exist. So what is He talking about? He's talking about a new heaven, meaning a new high and a new low, wherein dwelleth righteousness. That was talking about a renewed earth. where it's not going to be a wicked earth, people ruling upon the earth, a regime. It's going to be a righteous regime ruling upon the earth. Regime change. Alright? So the kingdom of heaven is already prepared. It's just got to be a regime change. That's it. You know? Everything's already in place to enjoy. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. How does America do their regime change? Because you already know the so-called try to play the hand of God. What do? They send missiles and bombs and shit over there. Once they send missiles and bombs over there to shake up the people, scare the people, then they put the puppet master who they want to be the leader in that nation. All right? When Yahweh Shai show up and he do it, it's going to be that to the max. See, the things, the cards that Esau tries to deal, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad used to tell me a saying all the time. When he know I'm about to lie, he'll ask me a question. He'll say, that stick you playing with, I'm the one threw it down. Meaning there's nothing you can do that I don't already know about because I did it before you. I'm the one that set it up like that. So that's what the so-called white men don't even know that they're being set up to their own destruction. Pride.
I invented the shit, wait.
Damn.
Go ahead, man.
I got a quick precept on that though.
Alright, cool. Let's go ahead. Sure.
Just go back to Tanakh in this Psalms chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, "Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his short displeasure."
And it shows you the sense of humor of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, and it shows that he controls everything. A cup can't fall on the floor without him doing it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing operates and moves on this earth, in this universe, where you know what I'm saying, without him being the controller of doing it. You know. But these individuals like Esau, his pride is lifted up so high that he really thinks that he's the reason why he's in the position that he's in right now. And that's ultimate pride, because Esau was in the dust at one point in time too. You know? And the dust. Like all the nations despised him. You know?
Now he finna be stubborn.
Now he finna be stoned.
Right.
Yeah, precept too, right?
Come.
Right, right.
So I got a precept backing up on the scripture, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11 and 12, where it says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in?" So this is Ephesians 5, chapter 5, verse 15. Shalom. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil." So, you know what I'm saying, being in this truth, you know what I'm saying, we constantly seeking and waiting on Yahweh to come back to save us. You know what I'm saying? So by seeking and waiting, you know, we ought to be in a wise spirit by walking and being aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And also not being as fools. Because being a fool is not paying attention to the signs and the prophecies that's being played out before our eyes, being caught up in these different distractions in the world. That's being a fool.
Right.
And also it says, "Wherefore," verse 17, it says, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." So, you know, being wise is understanding what Yahweh Shai has planned for us. And he says that he has a kingdom already prepared for us. We understand that it is already set for us. So we got to be circumspect and continue to do the works of him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, we got to act out our part in the script. Go ahead, bro.
Alright, this is Ecclesiastes chapter, just to back up what the brother was saying. Alright, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "Remember thou Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So right now is the time that we remember Yahweh Shem Shai, all right, and like the brother Amawan said, all right, walking circumspect, all right, being careful, all right, constantly standing on our watchtower, all right, watching for our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai come back to come get us, man, because he's finna bring fire to this place, man. All right, to basically eradicate All right, Esau's kingdom, man. Okay, because we looking for a new kingdom, man. All right, we looking for righteousness to be dwelling on this earth, man, and no more wickedness.
Not only eradicate Esau's kingdom, eradicate Esau.
Come, who you telling? That was it.
You know, Jeremiah.
No, keep going to 13 real
Okay,
quick.
Shalaki.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent, that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
Right, that's all in 14.
Come on.
Right. So that's the point, man. We're looking for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right? And that's what? The kingdom. You know? But the most Yahweh Shai has to be here on the earth to set that up. But the kingdom of heaven, New Jerusalem, is being established. You know? What was that? Isaiah 66:17? You had something in Jeremiah you said?
I mean, that's what I meant to say, Isaiah.
Okay.
Can I start at 15?
I think you got a point here. I'm good.
All right. All right, this is Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, for behold, I will come with fire, with his chariots like a whirlwind, and render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
Right, that's basically everything they just read. So all the nukes hitting, all the fire, all the judgment, that's all coming from Yahweh Shai. And that's how he's going to judge all flesh. All flesh. So the flesh is going to feel pain. That's how he's going to talk to you. Through pain.
Death.
Through death, yep. Death by pain.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden, behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abominations and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord.
Keep going.
All right, it says, for I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory.
Right.
And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pool, Lud,
Oh, never mind. You can skip that one.
Shlaki. All right. I got a precept too.
Go ahead, bro.
All right.
Romans 8 and 16.
It says, in verse 17, it says, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves. And how do you sanctify yourself? All right. This is John 17 and 17. It says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth.
Yeah.
And that's what gives us our sanctification, man. I mean, the word, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Isaiah 65 and 17.
65 and 17, Shlaki. You want to get it now?
Yeah, go.
This is Isaiah 65 and 17. It says, for behold, I create a new heaven and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind.
Right. So the Lord saying, behold, he created a new heavens and a new earth, and the former should not come into mind. What's the former? Job 9:24. Yeah. Don't lose where you at tonight.
This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
Right.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. So the wicked has been ruling and running rampant upon the earth. All right. And we already read that earlier in yeah, we read that. All right. I'll go ahead again.
All right, this is Isaiah 60.
So the wicked is Esau, and he's 2/3, these heathen nations, and 2/3 of our people, but mainly Esau. Go ahead, bro.
All right, this is Isaiah 65 and 17. It says, for behold, I create new heavens and new earth.
Right, he's doing that now. What else he was speaking is truth. The path that these nations are walking in, the Lord is having them create their own demise. Go ahead.
And the former shall not be remembered.
Right.
Nor, Shlaki.
No, you good. The former, which is Esau and rulership, is not going to be remembered someday. Right, brother?
It says,
And all the pain and wickedness and shit that we went through over here. Go ahead.
nor come into mind.
Right, America's not gonna come into mind either. But ultimately Esau's kingdom. Oh yeah, keep going.
Okay. It says, be you glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy.
Right, so that's New Jerusalem. You know, because he said what? As we read in Lamentations 2:1 earlier. Yeah, you might well bring that again.
Alright.
But he said now he's going to create in us, right, from within, the joy that shall be revealed within us, from within, he created in us what? Joy, right?
It says, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy.
So that's what the Lord is creating, man. He's setting us up in a position of hope and gave us the promises, this whole story that he wrote out for us to go down this path and be the one set up for hope and rejoicing. But he got to give us something to rejoice over. Go ahead, brother.
This is Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1. It says, how hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger.
Right, so when he was angry at us, he put us away and cut us off out of the earth, and brought our beauty down to the ground, which would be what? Our righteousness. But now the Lord is exalting his footstool, right? And putting his footstool over the whole earth. You got something? What's up?
Change the darkness. No.
Nah. Let's do Romans 8:16.
This is Romans 8.
That's a good one though, but that'll take us somewhere else.
This is Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 16. It says, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And if children, then heirs.
Right, so the Spirit is how we tell who's an Israelite now. We try them by the Spirit with the Scriptures. All right? And that's what's going to let us know that we are children of Yahweh, Israelites in these times, through the Scriptures and through the prophecies. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and if children, verse 17, then heirs.
Right, we become heirs to the throne. Go ahead, brother.
Heirs of the Most High. And with, it says, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so, be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
There you go. There you go. It says what? We create in Jerusalem a rejoicing in the people. So this joy is going to be revealed within us. You know, nobody ever seen Israel so happy before. That's how happy we're going to be upon the earth and joyful. All right, so it's going to be revealed from within us. That's prophecy, glory. All right, go ahead, brother.
It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature.
The creature means all of the Most High's creations. Everything that's been created. All right? It's already prepared. See that? Everything's already prepared. Go ahead.
Wait for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh.
Right, so everything is waiting for us to be manifest. Not manifested to wickedness, like 2/3 and the wicked are doing today, being manifest that they're the devil, that they're the wicked. The prophets and the hopeful elect are being manifest that they're the sons of God, meaning what? That they're the tabernacle of David, that they're the kingdom of heaven. All right, so it's already prepared on both levels, spiritually, the people, and also the place, meaning the earth, the dwelling of Israel, the earth and outer space.
It says, for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope.
Right, because he said what? In weakness, that's where the Lord is able to show his strength. When we're weak, the Lord shows his strength to us. He put us in a position of hope. so we can hope on him, hope for deliverance, hope for salvation. All right. So the creature, meaning us, we were made subject to vanity, not willingly, you know, but by reason of him that subjected the same in hope, that set it up that way for us to fall and to be ultimately, like you got, have the day, I mean, basically saying have the one that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If we were set up to be the ones that fell first, we're gonna be the ones that set up to be the ones to rise in the end. If we'd have ruled first like Esau, we'd have fell in the end.
Yeah.
But he set Esau up to rule,
Yeah.
so he got to be the one that fall in the end.
Yeah.
Most High set us up to fall, so we're gonna be the
Whoever
ones.
ruling when you show up, gonna
Yep.
get it.
We're gonna get it. Whatever rabbit got the gun when he show up is it.
I got a precept.
Who would read? Finish it real quick.
Verse 21.
Yep.
Verse 21, back in Romans chapter 8, verse 21, it says, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh.
Right, man. So that deliverance given to who? Israel only. Go ahead with your precept about.
All right, so this precept is the back of verse 20 where it says, for the same is subject the same in hope. And what is that hope? Faith. All right, this is Hebrews 11:6. It says, but without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a render of them that diligently seek him. So those that diligently seek him are going to have that hope that he created from the beginning time for us to have for salvation. Because if you don't understand the knowledge, wisdom, if you don't understand who Yahweh Shai is, you're not going to have that hope. You're not going to have that faith. So therefore, you're not going to be in that circle that he's created, that separation that he's creating. Therefore, you won't get that sanctification and you won't get delivered.
Right.
I had a precept. It's just going back to kind of sort of what he was just touching bases on about how the Lord Yahweh Shai don't deal with men in strength. It says, for thy, this is Judah chapter 9, verse 11. It says, for thy power standeth not in multitude, nor in the might in strong men, for thou art a God of the afflicted, and helper of the oppressed, and upholder of the weak, and protector of the forlorn, a savior of them that are without hope. So just basically going back when the brother was just talking about that transition, man, how the Lord Yahweh Shai set up Esau first to be at that higher state and had us at that lower state first, and when he come back, all right, whoever has that gun, you know, basically go get that ass kicking, man.
Mm-hmm. Right. He said unto the wounded he's gonna heal, the sick he's gonna heal them, and unto the ones that need deliverance he's gonna deliver, and the ones that are prideful he's gonna be prideful to them. So imagine a prideful ass kitten, but then a lion coming and be proud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's your house shot. He gonna be prideful to them. They gonna lose. Esau gonna lose. You know. But the ones that are meek, he's gonna meek. The ones that are merciful, he's gonna show himself merciful. But the ones that are prideful, he's gonna show himself prideful.
Ooh.
See that? So he put us in the spirit of meekness. He ain't gonna show that pride to that. He's gonna show meekness to that.
Because if you show pride towards something that's meek, that you become a bully or a tyrant.
Right.
Like just say you run up on somebody and they're folding up. I don't want to fight, but you beat them up anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord say you're gonna put the spirit on them to fight. No, you gonna try to stop acting prideful. No.
Right.
You're gonna put the spirit on them to keep that pride.
Right. I don't want to get too far from the topic.
Okay.
Keep going to 23.
23.
Yeah.
Back in verse 22, it says, for we know that the whole creation groans and travail and pain together until now.
So the whole creation, you know, it's groaning together, man. The earth is sick. Everything is out of whack, like the brothers read. Canuck read earlier, the foundation is out of course. Everything's out of whack, man. Everything's suffering. And he says what? When the righteous, you read that, when the wicked are in rule, the people mourn. And when the righteous are in rule, you want to get it again? Yeah, go ahead. You get it.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
You're right. So the wicked are in rulership right now. So the people, the creation is mourning. And even the earth is mourning. All right? And the animals, everything is mourning. Go ahead, Devar.
Verse 23, it says, not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit.
Right, today we represent the brothers that have the first fruits of the Spirit. Right? The men of the Apostle Heart, GMS, and the rest of the hopeful elect that are under the umbrella. We represent the first fruits of the Spirit. You know? Go ahead, brother.
It says, of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
Right, so saying we praying that the Lord delivers us as well. And we hate this, we suffering too in a different way. Our people are suffering, even though they don't know that they're sick, they're still suffering. And we're suffering as well. All right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 24, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope.
Right, that's why we can't see Yahweh and see Yahweh Shah right now. That's why we don't see angels. You might see some chariots. You could have entertained an angel unawares. But you still got to be careful. Every man that you see that pop up and seem mysterious or show up out of nowhere, that don't mean he's an angel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciate it.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, this is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the subject.
About 25.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I brought that out because the brother just read. Basically, faith that's seen is really not faith. You know, if you see that, and that's what Esau operates off of. Whatever he can physically see with his eyes, because he has no spiritual life. He has no spirituality. You know what I'm saying? So he can't concept the spiritual one like the elect can of Yahweh Shem Shai.
Right, go ahead, bro. Jump right back in.
Back in 24, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why do he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it.
That's right, man. So the Lord put us in a position of patience. Go ahead, keep going. There's a point right here.
It says, likewise, the Spirit also help our infirmities. For we know not what we shall pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself make intercessions for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Right, so the Spirit prays in the Hebrew and prays to the Father, right? And it's crazy because we really don't want to get that because Esau's so wicked that even he's suffering himself, just like a lion suffers. They have to keep killing to be able to thrive and live and exist. They have to keep killing. That's suffering because he can't keep getting judgment like that. You know, keep destroying himself. But our flesh is suffering. This world is suffering. All the creation is suffering. Even our spirit is suffering.
God, real quick with Baba Shah, just like you say, Esau's suffering too, because Esau's Dracula, man. He had to keep on shedding the blood of the children of Israel physically and spiritually to keep thriving.
We keep going. Verse 27.
Yeah.
It says, and he that searcheth the heart knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he make intercessions for the saints according to the will of Yahweh. Verse 28, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are the called according to his purpose.
All right, somebody get Philippians 1:20.
It's Philippians 1:20. It says, according to my earnest expectation and my hope, that is nothing I shall be ashamed, but that which is boldness, all as always, so now also Yahweh Shai shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death.
Right, now we're changing gears a little bit. If you call yourself being in this truth, your faith is supposed to be that strong in what you don't see, in Yahweh Shai and Yahweh, that you be willing to die in the flesh and die in the spirit to be able to please Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, to die from this world, right? Go ahead.
It says, verse 21, it says,
So that's our expectation, the hope. Again, go ahead.
all right, for to me to live in Yahweh Shai and to die is gain.
So to die, if you die in this truth, you're still gonna be with Yahweh Shai anyway. So no, we ain't go there. So what does that mean? What does that mean? To die and still be with Yahweh Shai? That means spiritual realm, like I was saying earlier, is all around us. What we see right here and inside the spirit. Is it up? There's no up or down, left or right. When we die, we immediately in the spirit realm. You don't have to go up to do that. Like the brother was saying, you immediately transition to the fourth dimension. Now, it's not a place. You know, it's a transition. So the transition into that, we're still with Yahweh Shai. So to be upon this earth, to live is to do the work and the will of Yahweh Shai. So the kingdom of heaven is already existent. It's already prepared. He's ruling in the heavens in every realm. He's already ruling. So all you gotta do is just move Esau out of the way. That's literally it. The spirit is, he already ruling in the spirit realm. Upon the earth, he's ruling. Because he's the one that put Esau in power. So all you gotta do is move him out the way. We got the kingdom already. So if we die or live, we still gonna get the kingdom. We're still gonna live forever someday. You know what I mean? In some senses of the word. They always say you can't be removed out of the Father's hand. Where thieves and moths does not corrupt. Yeah, they can't take it from you.
I looked up the word transition, and the transition definition, it says the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. Change, synonyms, change, move, passage, transformation,
Right.
conversion, adaptation, adjustment, alteration, metamorphosis.
Right, and then when Yahweh Shai show up, what do he say he gonna do? Change it.
Don't be like he is.
Yep, we're gonna be like he is. And to die is the same thing. You know? It's a transition or the change or to, you know? So nothing can remove us from Yahweh Shai, his power. So if we already got the kingdom already prepared. That's why he's telling us, like, yo, idiot, just do what you're supposed to do. I got you. Do the work. Just act out this part right here. All you got, my burden is light. Act out this part right here and you good. I got the rest. You know, one man watered, one man laid the seed, but most high give the increase. You know? Alright, who was reading?
I was reading Philippians.
Okay, good.
All right, it says Philippians 1:21. It says, "For to me, to live in Yahweh, to live is Yahweh Shai,
To be alive, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
and to die is gain."
And to die is gain. To die is gain. You're more powerful outside of this flesh than you are in the flesh. Sheesh. A beautiful death. Goodness, man. That shit gets you hype, right? Go ahead, brother.
But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what shall I choose? I wot not.
Won't not.
I wot not. It says, "For I am in the strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with Yahweh Shai, which is far better."
Right, so he basically saying he wanted to die as a transition and be with Yahweh Shai. He said that's far better. Instead of being here and suffering, man. He was through all kind of infirmities. And people thought that his work, like today, you got music artists, so much entertainment, celebrity, anything we can chase and become wealthy or famous. But
God.
the Lord said He gonna make us famous. You know. Anyway, go ahead. I don't want to get too far.
All right. Verse 24 says, "Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you.
Right.
And having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your for your furtherance and joy of faith."
Not bad. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Keep going.
Joy.
Yeah, where you at?
26.
That was it.
Okay.
Look at Wisdom of Solomon 3:1 now.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, starting 1.
Yeah.
Verse 1.
Yeah, all the way to 9.
But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh.
Right, the souls of the righteous, meaning on the earth or even in the heavens. You know, when they're on the earth, our souls are in the hands of Yahweh. When we die, the flesh goes back to the ground, and the spirit goes back to the Father that made it. All right, go ahead.
And there shall no torment touch them.
So no torment touch them, man. All right, go ahead.
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
That's right.
And departure is taken from misery.
Right. Paul knew this back then. You know, he knew that if he died, it would be taken from misery. Go ahead.
And their going from us to be utter destruction.
Utter destruction, yep.
But they are in peace.
But they are in peace, man. Go ahead.
For though they be punished in the sight of man, yet is their hope full of immortality.
Right, man. That's why he said the kingdom already is prepared, man. You know? Go ahead. You got to preach that real quick, man.
This is Romans chapter 8, verse 30. It says, "For I am persuaded that neither death nor life."
Oh, wait on that. Go ahead. Let's mention.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going to 9.
All right, this is back at Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 5. In having been a little chastened, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace have he tried them and received them as a burnt offering.
Right, and the main one he received as a burnt offering is Yahushua.
And in the time of their visitation,
Right, that's talking about now.
they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble.
So he's saying the ones that died back then, or if you die in this truth, the body dies and goes to the ground, the spirit goes back to the Father. He's saying those same spirits are going to be ruling on this earth in the future. You know what I mean? In the kingdom of heaven, that's already prepared, as we were going into earlier. Go ahead.
They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people.
That's right.
And their Lord shall reign forever.
What is that? Reign.
Yeah, reign, Shalaki, forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth.
Right, man. So, yep, the ones they say the Lord is the Spirit, and those that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. You know.
And such as be faithful and love shall abide with him.
Right. He says those that be faithful in love, faithful in His laws, faithful in one of the main laws is what? Faith in Yahushua. Go ahead. And shall abide with Him. You won't perish out of the way. Right? Because you what? He said, "Kiss the Son, lest you be angry, and you perish from the way." All right. So if you don't make Yahushua Yahweh angry, we'll be with Him. You'll be able to remain with Him. Go ahead.
For grace and mercy is to his saints,
Yeah.
and he have care for his elect.
Right. So grace and mercy is to the saints. The saints are who? The Israelites. All right. And the saints of Israel are the elect. You know, He has what? care for his elect, man. And the Lord cares about us. And that's something we got to know. These are points that we got to know as you go throughout your day. That the Lord does care about you. That his intention is to give us the kingdom. You got that one? You say you want to give us the kingdom?
Oh yeah, come on. Luke.
Yeah.
All right, this is St. Luke 12:32. It says, "Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom."
There you go. It's his good pleasure, the creator of all things. It's his good pleasure to give us the kingdom, man. And this earth is the kingdom. The universe is the kingdom, man. Beautiful, man. All right, that was it on there, right?
Come on.
So it's in his good pleasure to give us the kingdom, which is already prepared.
You got a precept.
Go ahead.
If you don't have it already. St. Matthew 19:28.
Nah, I only got like 3 more.
All right, this is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28. Verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Good, it's beautiful, man.
Con, and I just brought that out, you know what I'm saying, to back up the you know what I'm saying, the chapter we just read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, verse 8, when he say we shall judge the nations and he shall give us dominion over them, man. You know what I'm saying? If we follow him in the regeneration, to let you know it is a predestinated thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you gotta understand that many are called, but few are chosen. So you have to do the things that require of you from the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? All the way to the end.
And the elect are going to do it.
God, regardless.
That's it. That just means if you ain't doing it, you weren't one of the elect.
God.
That's just it, because the Most High, his word shall not come back void. Everything that he put in motion is going to happen. You know? And the wicked going to be wicked, the elect going to be the elect.
I get it.
It's just you're going to have what? You're going to have imposters.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some that continue not with us.
I appreciate it.
They go out from us, but they continue not with us. Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. It says, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand."
Right, the wise will understand. It's written. The wise shall understand. And it's predestined for that to happen. It's just like a tree. Like the person in the garden that set up a tree full of apples, and they got the apples on it, and you got some bad apples, you got some good apples. You got some apples that's kind of sprouting a little bit, then they wind up being the bad apples. But when the gardener shows up to prune the tree, to harvest, to get his harvest, he's gonna pick through that tree and be real precise about what apples he wants. And the ones that are half grown, the ones that's still weak and not showing any fruit, he's gonna cut it off. He's gonna trim the tree, prune it, doing all the, grooming it. But the apple that he wants, he's gonna collect it, put it in his basket. You know what I mean? That's the elect. That's the one that's chosen.
Like that scripture in that says of a cluster of grapes, he chose one small cluster of the grapes.
That's right.
His Ezra's.
Kind of.
His grace be killed.
Yep. And
You say chapter 9?
yeah. So, my bad. You had something?
Second Ezra, chapter 9,
Yeah, bring it up.
verse, I'm gonna start at verse 21. Well, it is verse 21. This is second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 21. It says, "And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people." And that is representation of the elect. He spared it greatly. He kept a grape of a cluster and a plant of a great people. He took his elect from among the whole house of Israel, whom he deemed to be set up to do his work and to do according to his will. And the cluster, he left that to be judged, or he set that aside for a time before he come back and make everything correct.
Right, man. Let's stick with this second topic now. Isaiah 57:1.
Isaiah. This is Isaiah 57:1, right?
Right, because even if we die in this truth, you still don't lose, man. Because when the Lord shows up, you're gonna be one of the first ones He wake up and give you the kingdom and have you ruling upon thrones. And if not, then you'll be ruling in the kingdom as someone's child. All right.
This is Isaiah 57:1.
Right. This is why Paul said to die is gain. You know.
It says, "The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth to heart. And merciful men are taken away, not considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come."
Right. So the Lord, it might be some brother that died before this all hell break loose. Because he might feel that when all hell break loose, that person might be kind of weak. They might break, fold, you know. So the Lord might take them out of this shit. All right, go ahead, keep going.
So, "He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness."
Right, walking in His uprightness, meaning you're alive when you die, life after death. There is no such thing as death if Yahushua is involved. You know, the only thing you do is transition. You can transition from being righteous into being wicked. And you spiritually dead. You can transition from this life, heart beating, brain functioning, to brain dead and heart stop beating. And then you transition into the spirit realm, another dimension. You know? So either way, we don't die. Get 2 Corinthians 5 and you already did that. 5 and 1 all the way to 11. Yeah, all the way to 11, and then we're gonna do Romans 8:34, and that'll get to the point. You guys see what I'm saying?
5:1.
Yep, come on, bring it up.
All right, this is 2 Corinthians 5:1. It says, "For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved,"
Right, so that's all this body is a tabernacle. I was talking to my girl the other day, I was like, yo, talking about women. And I was like, yo, it's funny because we see all these fine women, right? But at the home, I got this diagram of the body. You know, like the veins and shit, and the, the eyeballs and the bones and everything. And I was like, that's really what we're looking at. It just got a little, we have a cover over it called flesh. So if you look at everything like that, it's like everybody has this shit.
They got a bad circulatory system going on,
Right.
you know?
It'll make you start breaking people down more. Like, are you healthy? If this ain't right. It'll help you really see them for the creation that we are. It's not seeing that as the actual being, but you'll see it as a person, meaning the creation. We'll see it for a robot, this flesh, instead of seeing it for actual spirits. We'll see the spirit too. We'll be able to separate the two. And judge the tree by its spirit. Fruit. Right? That's what but so go ahead, brother.
all right, this is 2 Corinthians 5:1.
Right, so these bodies are just tabernacles. This is an abode. There's nothing to fear when it comes to death. You literally are alive. Right?
All right, it says, "For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Yahweh, and had an house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens."
Eternal. Eternal. So even if somebody died right now and they're not in the truth, they have an eternal house waiting on them as well. They just can't get theirs yet. They can't get theirs until the elect get established first. See that? They can't be the first one, the first fruits. You know? So even 2/3 of our people are going to get an eternal house. So people dying in this time, we should be happy that they died, so they can get it. They're gonna wake up in the kingdom. You know, death. We die, we live a half a day with the Lord in the spirit. We come back to this earth 400, 300 years later. But in the kingdom, the Lord said He's gonna make a speedy recovery of Israel. So we will be popping out babies. So there's no such thing as real death. Go ahead, brother. So yeah, let me get to the point though. Go ahead.
Come on, verse 2 it says, for in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon our Shalaki, desiring to be clothed upon our house, which is from heaven.
Which is from heaven. So our new body is where? It's in the heavens. It's not on the earth. So we're gonna get new bodies. It's gonna come from the heavens. Not changing this one into the new body. We're gonna shed this body. Gonna be gone. It's gonna dissolve. Right. So the new bodies are coming from heaven. When we meet the Lord in the air. And he said, what? For this we groan. What's groaning? The spirit is groaning. He said the spirit is groaning.
Making intercession.
Intercession, yeah. And one of those intercessions is saying, I want a new body. That was the spirit saying. Right? From all the affliction and stuff. Go ahead, brother.
Come on, verse 3 says, if so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked.
Right.
For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened.
Being burdened.
Shalaki, being burdened. Not for that we would be unclothed.
Right. So he ain't saying he want to die. He don't want to lose. He don't want to die. He don't want to die and lose his body. He want to do this. Go ahead.
But clothed upon that morality.
No, you gotta read that right, brother.
Shalaki. Alright, it says, for we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon that morality.
But clothed upon.
It says, but clothed upon
Yeah.
that morality might be swallowed up of life.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
Shalaki.
Verse 4 says, for we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon that mortality might be swallowed up by life.
Mortality would be swallowed
Yeah.
up by life.
So we'll become immortal. You know? So when we change, we're gonna change in the twinkling of an eye.
Which explains this being in the flesh ain't life.
It's not life, man.
Being mortal is not life.
This is like a borderline purgatory in a sense.
It's gonna be consumed by life.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, real quick. Then boom, boom. Let's get back to the point.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50. Now I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh.
Right.
Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
That's right.
Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Right. And that's gonna happen. And the dead raised incorruptible is talking about what? You have ones that die in the truth in these times, they're gonna be raised up. And also that's really it. Good. That was it, right?
Kind of.
That was it.
You said all the way to 11, right?
Yeah, somewhere with
Back in 2 Corinthians chapter 5.
yeah.
Verse 5.
Yeah, go on.
You got it?
Go ahead. I was cutting in for you.
Okay, come. Alright, this is Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5. It says, now he that hath brought us for the self same thing is Yahweh, who also have given unto us the earnest of the Spirit.
Right, so he gave it for us to be even in this truth today. The Lord gave that to us, the earnestness of the Spirit. Man. All right, that's a gift, and that's what we should be thankful about. He is alive. He's present. When he's praying, he is listening.
He
know,
exists.
He really exists, man. You got to really think about it like that. You know, it's like talking to somebody in the room with your eyes closed. You know, but he's just in another room. He's just in another dimension. You know, but he can really hear you.
Verse 6 it says, therefore, we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord.
Right. So when we are at home in this body, that's what they call it, an abode or body. That's where you get the root word abode from. So when we are at home in this body, when you're in this body, we are what? Absent from Yahweh Shai, man. So that's the only thing blocking us from being with Yahweh Shah right now is these bodies, the chains of darkness. We gotta get it over, everybody. You're about to get it early. That was spirit. But,
Verse 7, it says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight."
right, so like, believe we walk by hope and faith. Go ahead.
It says, "We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord."
Right, so we're willing, not that we want to die, we don't want to die, just like Yahweh Shah didn't want to die, but he had to take that persecution. You know, he wanted to be with the Father, on the right hand of the Father. But he still didn't want to die. He didn't want to go through that process of dying. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says, "Wherefore we labor, that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him."
Right. So being present or absent from the Lord, so being in this flesh or being in the spirit realm, we want to please the Father, period. Please Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. You know? And that shows you what? Because he rules in the kingdom of heaven. Everything cool? All right. So it just basically proved more points that the kingdom of heaven is already prepared. He's ruling right now. You know, people think Esau is God. Esau just set himself up to be God. The only power. He's not the only power, man. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 10, it says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body,
Yep.
according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad."
Right, so that's why the Lord is setting up judgment, a cutoff point. The cutoff point for you nations and 2/3 of our people is going to be judgment day. The way he judges you for all the wickedness you've done in that body. And all the wickedness you've spoken. You know, every idle word that you speak, man will give account for in the day of judgment. All right, so we all going to appear before Yahweh Shai, either on judgment day or in the spiritual realm. So what does that mean? He's ruling right now. Yahweh Shai is ruling. He already got it. The kingdom of heaven is already prepared. All right, go ahead. One more.
Verse 11, it says, "Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men."
That's scary to know that he said what? Don't fear a man that can kill the body, but fear him that can kill body and soul in hell, right here on earth. He can destroy you right here on earth. How he destroys spiritually and physically. You know?
All right, this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 38. "But Yahweh giveth it a body as it please him, to every seed his own body.
Right.
All flesh."
That seed is the spirit. So
It says,
each body has a spirit. You know, real quick. Meaning, like, if you want the time warp, you know, some people say, "I want to go back in time." If you went back in time, you would be the only spirit there. You might have bodies there, like the Lord was to bring the bodies back.
Yeah.
But the spirit is set for an age. Whatever age, that's, you know, kingdom or time period, the spirit is locked in that point.
So that's just basically like you were watching what happened on television.
Right, in a virtual sense.
Yeah.
Physical virtual.
Con.
You know, but the spirit is locked in whatever age or time.
It'd be like a video game. They just walk around.
Right.
No spirits on.
Right, man. They probably just, you know what I'm saying? Though? So every body in each age has a spirit to it. And that's just it.
It says, verse 39, it says, "All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, and another of fish, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial."
Right, just in celestial and terrestrial are basically the same thing. You know, people get it mixed up because they think celestial just means angelic. When you look it up, it means something created out in the heavens. So the sun, the moon, the stars, that's all celestial bodies. So that's what the Lord said, we're going to have bodies like that. You know, we're going to have bodies, shit, fuck it, it's real. I'm being real, truth is the truth. We're going to have bodies that can transition into angelic or fire. And we're going to have extraterrestrial, meaning from what? The heavens. He said bodies from the heavens, didn't he? Why do you say heaven in the Hebrew? Shemayim. So what is Shemayim? Out of space. So what does the word extraterrestrial means? Something being from outer space. So we're going to be recreated by the time we get to the chariots. And we're going to be brought back down from the chariots called New Jerusalem, as New Jerusalem, and we're going to have new bodies, extraterrestrial bodies from the heavens, you know, from something out there. And the Lord just showed us that today too. So go ahead, brother.
All right, it says,
So that's what he mean by bodies extraterrestrial and celestial.
it says, verse 40 says, there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial.
Right.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
Right. Just like right now, we're stuck in these terrestrial bodies from this terrain, this earth. You see that? And go ahead.
It says, there is one glory of the sun, another of the moon,
Right.
and another glory of the stars, for one star different from another star in glory.
That's right, man. It's completely different in its glory. This body is made to be has a certain glory to it. Preaching, ministering, affliction, going through affliction, suffering it, having the 5 senses and things like that. But the next body has a glory to it where it can't be hurt. You know what I mean? It's set up to reign forever. You know, instead of you being changed by the climate, you change the climate. You change with the climate. You know, things like that. That body is set up to be a sharp thrusting instrument having teeth.
Verse 42, it says, so also is the resurrection of the dead.
Right. So also is the resurrection of the dead. Go ahead.
It says, it is sown in corruption, and it is raised in incorruption.
Right. So we're born in these corruptible bodies. Change the darkness to where it can be corrupted through what? Chemical imbalances, deception, doubt, all kinds of different things. But the next body is going to be raised in incorruption. Even the spirit realm, you're raised. He said, what? To die is gain.
There's no more oh man, even the wicked cease from their wickedness.
Even the wicked cease, right? So you become incorruptible. But with the bodies that's coming someday, that's going to be incorruptible as well.
Because we're going to have the laws in our inward part.
And it's from the heavens.
Straight
And the
order.
laws in the inward part.
Straight order.
Straight order. Where does it come from? Out of the heavens, man. Everything out there is in order.
It's strict order.
Strict order. So our body's going to be like that. And if you look at the body, the way it's put together, the diagram of it, man, it's real complicated. So our next one, man.
Charts.
Yeah.
God.
We're going. He said, can any of you make a hair on your head or make yourself taller or shorter? We're going to be able to do that. We're going to be able to increase our stature, and we're going to have the space to do it. He made the firmament so high. We can even play around. We'll turn into a giant crusher. You know? Makes it good, but anyway.
Run around feet 5 4 fumbling.
So, all right, go ahead, bro.
All right. Oh, sorry.
No, one more than that, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
All right, this is Sirach chapter 30, and I'm gonna start at verse 17. It says, "Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness." So basically, just like the brother was saying, man, you know, living in these bodies, this is just an earthly body, but by us dying, going into that spiritual realm with the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we get those new bodies, man. All right, and like you said, it's all terrain, man. So with that, no sickness, no sickness, no nothing, man.
Right, and to do the will of the Father on earth. And if somebody was to drop dead, you're gonna be in the kingdom. You're gonna be in the heaven doing the same thing, the will of the Father.
And I got told my uncle when he died, I said, soon you die, you're gonna be standing right before Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And yeah.
He gonna see in the kingdom like, hey, he was right.
All right, where we at?
We got one more.
I got one more too for this verse 11.
Go ahead, brother. I'm on.
Alright,
And
this,
then, come on.
alright, this is 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. It says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh, and our trust also are made manifest in your conscience.
Right, so that's what we're hoping today. That if you feel like, if you believe what we're saying, that this is made manifest unto you, that we brothers too, just like we call y'all brothers. Or if y'all, if you're in the world and you see us, or you see apostles of GMS, or you see other brothers under that umbrella, you see us as the men of the Lord. That's what we're praying, that this is made manifest in your conscience. You know, that the things we are saying are true to you. You know, because that's what we're looking for. That's our whole purpose. You know, that was it.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this 1 Corinthians 15 and 43 says, it is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness and raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body.
Great, you break that down.
That's just it, man. That's how we just like how the first Adam was, you know, but how Adam came first and how Shai came in spiritual form. That's how we're gonna be manifest. Walking in sin, right, and being raised in corruption. Right? So we're gonna have that angelic force
Wait,
because
walking in sin and raising. What do you mean?
raised up correcting in
Yeah,
correction.
yeah, just, you know.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, we were walking in sin, and then the Lord delivered us from sin, and then we're gonna be raised in incorruption someday.
Yeah,
Come people like to twist our words. Man.
Yeah, man.
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
wicked out there. Scoffers. Go ahead, brother. Romans 8 and 34.
God, this is
All the way to 39, and then that's it.
God, this is Romans chapter 8, verse 34. It says, who is he that condemneth? It is Hamashiach Yahushua that died, yea, rather that is risen again.
Right, man. So Yahushua, the judge, he's the one ruling right now. Esau ain't ruling nothing.
You did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Who is even at the right hand of Yahweh, who also maketh intercession for us.
Right, so that's the Spirit praying and making intercession for us, as we read earlier. He's on the right hand of the Father doing that.
Esau is in a worse position because he thinks that he's not a slave, but he really is. At least we know we in a down position.
Yeah.
But he just as controlled as we is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He don't even know it.
The pride of his heart has deceived him.
Don't need bubble gum.
Romans 8 and 35. It says, who shall separate us from the love of Yahushua?
Right, that's why I wanted to end it on this one. Because whether we die, whether we're alive, whether Esau is ruling, and in the kingdom, however you look at it, nothing can separate us from the love of Yahushua. It's been written in the Old Testament, over stories of the prophets. And when the kingdom is here, we're going to see that it's already what's prepared for us. You know, by him preparing us. By him predestinating from the foundation of the world, which is with Peter. And the one that believed after that. You know? And then the beautiful earth and the heavens that the Lord created, man. Everything is here for us to enjoy. You see the animals, you look at a fucking squirrel, you want to touch it, but you know it's going to bite your finger off. Because you know it's a curse there. It's the friction between us.
Yeah,
But when the Lord is slowly taking that away, you'll see the animals acting different with you.
Yeah.
Prime example, when we went to Kingsley Plantation, and the peacocks were coming messing with us, but as soon as Esau came up, they ran. I didn't even know peacocks would fly. They ran and flew in the tree.
Yeah.
You know?
It's stronger now, though.
Kind.
Even since then, it got stronger.
Yeah, cats be coming up to
Oh,
You
yeah.
see it. Huh?
Yeah, cats be coming up to my mom's house, and it's like this one cat that keep on coming up, like it won't leave. It keep on coming up, me meowing, like she on my car all day, every day.
By your legs.
Yeah.
Coming out, so just keep on meowing at me, like
Yeah.
I be trying to get the cat to move on.
Yeah.
Like, it won't move.
I won't stay on the topic too long, but good.
Even when you could tell that gap wasn't there because in the past, because if it was there in the past, how did Noah get all those animals on the boat?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, that's right. And right. But also, he gonna give that back to us.
Kind.
You know. So he gonna take that curse away. But everything's in place for us to enjoy. And that's just, you know, he's got to move Esau out the way.
All right, this is Romans chapter 8, verse 35. It says, who shall separate us from the love of Yahushua? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword?
Right, through what we've been reading today, we see that none of this stuff will separate us from Yahweh Shai and from what he has prepared for us. Go ahead, brother.
As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
In all these things, we are more than conquerors. Through Yahweh Shai that loved us, and he proven it to us now, man. So it's only gonna get better. It's gonna get worse before it get better. But it's gonna get better for the elect.
Like they say, you gotta go through the jungle sometimes in order to get to the garden.
Right, and the Lord created us to be able to get through it. And he created, just like the 300, when he said our arrows will blot out the sun. He like, shit, we're gonna fight in the shade.
That's the mentality of Jake. That's the mentality of Jake for real.
Yeah, so that's the mind. The Lord blessed us to have minds like that in these times. It's getting stronger. You can feel it. It's starting to feel like, damn, am I crazy? I don't care about nothing no more. I don't want to hurt nobody, but I don't care about shit. Like, you know, and that's a beautiful mindset to be in with what's coming.
Go on.
You know, go ahead, brother.
It's Romans 8:38. It says, for I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh,
There you go.
which is in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, our Lord.
That's right, man. So it's all love stemming from Yahweh, and he deposited, filled that cup up named Yahweh Shai, filled it with that same love he has for us. You know, and that care that he got for us. And he said, not death, not any creature. The creature would be Esau. Nothing can, you know, and he's in the spirit realm. And still can't keep us, they can't keep us from Yahweh Shai while we in this realm. You know what I mean? So that's why he came to tell us everything's already prepared for you, man. Prepared for us. He said, watch. That's all we gotta do is watch and be the audience and do the work and act out everything we're supposed to act out in the scripture. You know? And he's gonna turn back our captivity before our eyes while we're watching. And we're gonna be able to applaud like the audience and see his great works. You know?
Yeah, after they make the movie, they go watch themselves. Act the movie out.
Yep. And he got everything prepared for us, man. All he gotta do is move Esau out of the way and exalt us, make us new and refreshed. And then he gonna let us enjoy everything and replenish it and beautify it. You know? So everything's already prepared, even us prepared. So we're gonna end up with that. Anybody got a precept though? This is good? Alright, go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 27. This is for the Son of Man. This is for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his work. So when the Lord come back, he's gonna come in the glory and the power of his Father with the heavenly host, the angels, and he's gonna recompense or reward every man according to his work. So if you were building upon the foundation that shall not fall, which is this truth, you're going to be recompensed and rewarded for your work. If you were building upon this Esau's kingdom, you're going to be recompensed for your work.
Yep. And they're basically saying what? The kingdom of heaven are the people. And all he got to do is what? Exalt us. That's it. But he had to clean us first and do all these different things before he exalts his crown. You know, we like the jewels on the crown. And he got 12 prongs on it. You know? And each jewel he polishing us, making us perfect and purified.
Like gold.
Right.
To get that dirt off the gold, like if you paraphrase around the world, like a set of grills per se. Get that grime and that blackness, they dip it in that acid, you know, which is acid is harsh.
That's right.
You know, but it purges it and cleanses it.
That's that affliction.
Yeah, you can make it new again and polish it.
That's right. You gotta keep from breaking down. You know, before he raises it up and put it on his head. You know, he threw it on the ground before, like, nah, you know what? Now he pick it up, polish it off, and he's gonna exalt it and put it on his head. You know?
I got one precept that goes about how you said how Yahweh poured out the love on Yahweh Shai and deposited on on his elect All right, this is John chapter 17, verse 22. It says, "And the glory which thou gavest me, I give them, that they may be one as we are one. I in them, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them as thou hast loved me. Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory which thou hast given me, for thou lovest me before the foundations of the world. O righteous Father,
Right.
the world."
He loved Yahushua before he began to love us again.
Come,
You see that? Before the foundation of Peter.
come,
You can say the world, the creation of the earth too.
come,
But even before Peter,
come,
the Lord, the Most High loved Yahushua first.
come,
And then he loved us.
come. Verse 25 it says, "O righteous Father, the world hath not known thee, but I have known thee, and these have known that thou hast sent me.
Right?
I have declared unto them thy name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them, and I in them."
Right, man. So he say what? The kingdom of heaven is in you. So you say the reward is with Yahushua, but if Yahushua dwells within you, so the reward is with you as well. You know what I mean? But Yahushua gonna come and make it manifest. So with that, man, we're gonna end this. Say, Kal, Halayim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Quadash, Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders, and shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim, and children that still believe in sincerity and the truth around the four corners of the earth, the kingdom of heaven.
Shalom.
Shalom. Y'all want